Road to take on the great Leeds United.
In the 18 months that George Graham has been in Yorkshire, Leeds have transformed from a team flirting with relegation into a side making a strong challenge for Europe and one of the favourites for this year's FA Cup. The Elland Road fans are desperate to win the Cup again. It's been a long time since their last success at Wembley.
For all the famous victories that have happened here at Elland Road, Leeds United have only won the FA Cup once in their history, and that was back in 1972. And for those who weren't around or simply can't remember, they beat Arsenal that day 1-0 with an Alan Clark header. Fantastic memories for all concerned with this club, you would have thought. But there's one man who wishes to forget that day, a certain George Graham. The Leeds United boss was playing for the Gunners back in '72, the stroller he may have been, but at Wembley he and the Gunners were run ragged by an outstanding Leeds side.
I can't remember too much of it actually. The defeats I never remember too much, the victories I tuck it away in the memory bank and enjoy it. But I don't like to bore people with my past. I very rarely bring Arsenal up here at Leeds. Nobody wants to hear all your previous jobs and all your previous experiences. I tend to live for the day and tomorrow.
Well, George may have forgotten, but one man who still remembers that day with a lot of affection is Norman Hunter. 4 times finalist, but only once a winner. But behind every medal is a story.
I went up twice because I think the Leeds supporters will remember poor Mick Jones, probably a couple of minutes before the end of the game, went over the goalkeeper and he dislocated his collarbone. So I remember Doc Adams, our doctor, saying to me, "Norman, Mick can't go up. Will you go up and go up again and go in front of him?" So I had to walk, and Mick had his good arm resting on the back of my shoulders, and I had to go up again and help Mick get his because he was in an awful lot of pain.
It's a good quiz question, isn't it?
It is a good quiz question. I wouldn't get that one either.
Many Leeds fans are now starting to believe that 26 years later it could once again be their year, and comparisons between the two sides are being made. The likes of Jimmy Hasselbank and Rod Wallace may have a long way to go to catch up with Alan Clark, but many of the famous old guard believe Graham has got what it takes to repeat the feats of the great Don Revie.
You can see similarities. I mean, all great managers, you know, in a way they're all quite similar, you know. Yeah, but I think the overriding thing is a great passion for the game, a great will to win, the will to be successful. I think that's the important thing.
I think any great side, you look at Man U at the moment, they've got a great goalkeeper and they've got a good back four. So you don't win anything or any competition without a good defence. And Don Revie, he believed in that, and I think George Graham believes in that too.
And with Billy Bremner-like players such as David Hopkin returning to the side, the Leeds machine will be a hard team to stop. And for those who've seen and done it all in the game, they're beginning to feel a Wembley trip is on the cards.
We've got rid of Grimsby, we got rid of Birmingham, and we beat them very well, as it turns out. So they're all tricky little ties, but we've got there, and that's the most important game. Next, another home draw, and then anybody. I think we're going to Wembley.
I'd like to think so. I mean, you don't want to count your chickens, but I think we've a fair chance this year.
I just hope, I mean, there's no great plans envisaged. I'm just hoping that the players can play somewhere near their capabilities. If they can do that, then you're in the semi-finals and 1 game away from Wembley, which I quite like Wembley actually. It's an occasion I like.
Yes, George Graham looking forward to Wembley. Now, just for all those Leeds fans that don't believe they won it in 1972, I don't know whether the cameraman can get down here. There we are, 1972, Leeds United beating Arsenal 1-0. Paul Elliott, it seems amazing that they've only won it. I mean, think of that great side. They've only won it once in their entire history.
Phenomenal, and I think they've got a very good opportunity possibly to emulate that. I've got to fancy Leeds. I mean, I think if you look at George Graham, he's done a fantastic job in a short space of time. A lot of the old guard has gone, and he's brought in some outstanding young players. And what they've done straight, they've stopped conceding goals. I mean, he's a great believer in building a solid foundation from the rear and obviously working your way through the spine of the side. And he's done an excellent job, and he's purchased very well. And up front, I think in Hasselbank and Wallace has got 2 outstanding players who are playing so well, with obviously young, the Australian chap, Cool up front. You know, they're going to pose a lot of problems for any defence. I've seen them about 3 times in the Premiership this season, and have played very, very well. Very difficult to beat, but equally are very creative in the last third as well, and got lots of pace that will frighten people.
We've had a good draw as well, Gary.
Yeah, I think once you get down to the quarter-final stages, getting a home draw is very important.
They've been a bit lucky in that, haven't they? They had 4 home draws in a row, all against lower league sides.
Yeah, and when that type of thing starts to happen, you tend to get a bit of a feeling, you know, this saying about your name's on the cup. Well, it's a load of rubbish, really. But
no,
you
start to 72. Down there, 72.
But you do start to think, well, hang on, maybe this could just be our year. And having said that, I think, you know, they're up against a fairly good Wolves side who I like Stoll, the keeper. I think Dean Richards, the centre-half, is a fine player who's come back from injury. They've got Robbie Keane in midfield for Wolves, who can score goals as well.
But they got booed off in the week against Stoke.
Yeah, but we're talking about the FA Cup now. It's totally different. I don't know why it is and what it is about the FA Cup, but everybody's up for it. And I think that Wolves will give Leeds a good run for their money. But having said that, I still think that George Graham and his boys will be too good on the day.
They'll miss Patalainen and Goodman are both out for Wolves. I mean, they normally, you think of Wolves and you think Goodman will score for them, but they've got Mr. Bull.
Yeah, well, old Steve, he's been around a long time, an old soldier, isn't he, but still a very much young man. He's had a fantastic history there, scored lots of goals. But the 2 front men would have been important, Patalainen and Goodman in particular, because he's strong, he's pacey, and he's one that can always cause defences problems. So I feel that that could be their Achilles heel on the day.